Hello and welcome back to Off the Post. In today's episode, I'll be discussing how Eberechi Eze rolled past Tottenham Hotspur with absolute ease, okay? But before that, as always, please like, comment and subscribe. It's very much appreciated and it goes a long way to help me build a small community on my channel, okay? We've recently just hit 261 subscribers. Can we go and get the big 300? We're only 39 subscribers away from doing it. Hopefully that's good maths. But anyways, let's get straight into the episode, shall we? Arsenal won 4-1 against their North London rivals Tottenham Hotspur at the weekend, okay, on Super Sunday. One absolute amazing game. For me, probably the best game of the weekend. Honestly, what on earth was that game, okay? It was so easy for Arsenal, wasn't it? Don't get me wrong, it did take them, I want to say, 36 minutes for them to score their first goal from Leonardo Trossard, of course. Who else was going to score for Arsenal when you need somebody like an important player to score you the goals? Leonardo Trossard has come up so good so many times this season, hasn't he? The Belgium left winger, and for me, I feel like he's very underrated on that left hand side for Arsenal. There was a lot of fans at the start of the season, writing him off a little bit, saying, should Mikel Arteta potentially move him on in the transfer window? And he's sort of, shut up a few of the haters, if you like, and sort of, calmed it down and sort of put a claim into why he's so good at Arsenal and why they should keep him around, if you like, anyways. Because for me, he's definitely way better than Gabriel Martinelli on that left-hand side. He's better than Eberechi Eze on that left-hand side as well. We've seen it in this game especially. Eberechi Eze was absolutely amazing in those, midfield free positions, that number 10 position, if you like, as well. Some of the goals he was scoring, we'll get onto it in a minute, but honestly, he was exceptional in this game. This was probably his best ever game that he's played this was probably his best ever game that he's played in an Arsenal shirt so far, Eberechi Eze. But yeah, okay, you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong, okay. But I didn't even mention, right, before that, in like the third minute or something, Declan Rice could have scored a goal and he could have got a nice little early goal for Arsenal, couldn't he? There was a nice little chip through ball from Eberechi Eze, okay. Literally, right, that ball split it across like 2 or 3, Tottenham players in that midfield, in that defence. Declan Rice had so much time and space to have a nice little half volley, if you like, and the shot was saved by Vicario, so it's a bit unfortunate. But anyways, we did mention how obviously the first goal forced through Leonardo Trossard. Fantastic goal from the Belgian midfielder, so it's 1-0 at this point, and you've got to think to yourself, it's going to be a bit of a long one for Tottenham Hotspur. They wasn't looking like themselves this season, haven't they? When you think about Tottenham Hotspur this season, when they've been good under Thomas Frank, it's, they've dominated the ball. They've, created a few chances here and there through, like, Richarlison, through Kudus, through Xavi Simons. But all those players are just absolutely quiet in this game. Don't get me wrong, Richarlison did score a goal, I want to say in the second half, was it? I'm pretty sure. But it was half decent goal as well, from like 30, 40 yards out. A nice little chipper over the goalkeeper. David Raya couldn't do anything about it. But anyways, let's get on to the main topic of the video. Eberechi Eze scoring a North London derby hat-trick against Tottenham Hotspur. And what tops it off for me is how Tottenham Hotspur tried to sign Eberechi Eze in the summer and completely failed to get it over the line. That's like the cherry on top, if you like, for those Arsenal fans. For me, you know what I mean. This season, he probably has been one of their best players in an Arsenal shirt, Eberechi Eze. Don't get me wrong, he probably hasn't impacted the game as much as Arsenal fans would have liked. He has had he has had some half decent games. He has had some poor games as well. But for me, I feel like Eberechi Eze has almost written his name in the Hall of Fame, if you like, in that Arsenal team this season. And for me, when you think about some of the goals he scored, he absolutely cut open the top of the defence, wasn't he, with absolute ease. And all 3 of his goals are very similar as well. So why couldn't the defence sort of say to themselves, this is an area to watch out in Eze's game and not close him down as quickly as possible as soon as they could. For the first goal, Eberechi Eze picked up the ball on the edge of the box, ran past 1 or 2 of the Tottenham defenders, okay, and he got the shot straight past Vicario, okay. Don't get me wrong, there's a few players in the way with, Danso, Mickey van der Ven, and it did take a nice little deflection, I'm pretty sure it did anyways, and it sort of, Vicario sort of got a hand to it, but he just couldn't manage to keep the ball out the back of the net, and, the goal was, very, very well taken from Eberechi Eze. Now, for me, All three goals were very similar in the sense that they was on the edge of the box each time. Nice shot that Vicario just couldn't save. So from that point of view, you got to think to yourself, why aren't the Tottenham defenders, the midfielders, closing him down as quickly as possible? It is a bit of a tricky one, but Eberechi Eze did so well to find that open space in the midfield, in the attacking areas, to sort of cut open that Tottenham defence time and time again in this game, whether or not that was creating chances or scoring the goals as well. For me, this was his best performance by far, and I hope now that he can go on and absolutely have an amazing time in the Premier League for Arsenal. For me, I'm pretty sure, right, they're going to win the Premier League, aren't they? There's no doubt about that. When we spoke about Arsenal at the start of the season, we were saying how they just need a striker to score those chances. And don't get me wrong, there's times in the Premier League, times in the matches in the Premier League where you got to think to yourself, maybe they could do a striker, maybe Victor Gyökeres could be doing better to score more goals. However, if you don't have Victor Gyökeres, you've got Bukayo Saka. If you don't have Bukayo Saka, you've got Eberechi Eze. If you don't have him, you've got Trossard. If you don't have him, you've got Declan Rice. If you don't have him, you've got Mikel Moreno. You've got all these players to score you goals. Their squad depth now for Arsenal is absolutely amazing. That's probably one of the best things about their side, isn't it? And when you think about Arsenal in the Premier League at the moment, right, they're currently sitting in first, aren't they, on 29 points. And, Chelsea are in second on 23. So, they're 6 points ahead of second place Chelsea. So you've got to think to yourself, they're going to go and do it, aren't they? Don't get me wrong, it's only 2 wins away from competing for that first place position for Chelsea, but I can't see them, keeping up with Arsenal this season, especially how well they are defensively. In the midfield, they win all their midfield duels. Attacking wise, they've got so much attacking strong. They've got so many strong attacking players, haven't they? So for me, you know what I mean. It was all about Eberechi Eze in this game. The second goal, okay. Let's talk about the second goal just quickly, okay. Let's just talk about the second goal quickly. He picked it up on the edge of the box, okay. Nice little pass from one of the players on the right hand side of Bukayo Saka, Timber, someone like that. And he just strolls into the box, okay, and just puts it nice little, near post to Vicario, and he just smashes it. He smashes it to, Eberechi Eze strolls past one or two of the Tottenham defenders into the box, okay, smashes it near post. And Vicario just couldn't, get on, and Vicario just couldn't get a hold of the ball on time. Okay, you got to think to yourself, probably Vicario could do a little bit better. His positioning probably was a little bit off for that goal at least, anyways. And yeah, if we quickly talk about the fourth goal, okay, 4-1 against Tottenham Hotspur, your North London rivals. Arsenal fans have to be buzzing. Don't get me wrong, when Charleston did get a goal back, it was 3-1 at this point. Probably 30-40 yards out at this point. Nice little chip over the ball from straight over that David Ryan. He couldn't do anything about it either. And then for me, obviously the fourth goal sort of led by Leonardo Trossard on the left hand side. Runs past one or two of the players on the left hand side, of course. Passes it to Eberechi Eze, who's on the edge of the box once again in open space. There was no Tottenham defenders to be seen because they was all marking Leonardo Trossard. Okay, there was at least 2 or 3 defenders on Trossard, and Eberechi Eze had all the time in absolute world to slot it into the far post. Okay, and for me, you just got to say to yourself, what an absolute bargain of a signing now. Don't get me wrong, what did they sign him for? 65, 70 million maybe, with add-ons and whatnot. Absolute bargain, especially when you got to think to yourself, Martin Odegaard hasn't really been on form this season. I think there's also, I don't know if he's played that much this season as well. Had a bit of an injury, hasn't he? So when he's out injured, I feel like there is a well-rounded balance into that midfield with Eberechi Eze, Declan Rice and Zubimendi. Honestly, I do think there is a nice little balance there, especially with Bukayo Saka, Trossard on the wings as well. And even like Mikel Moreno playing like that false number 9 position. He does come up with some goods, don't he, as well, in this game, with a few good free balls and link-up play as well. So I do really rate this Arsenal side. Let me know in the comments down below how Eberechi Eze has absolutely battered and destroyed Tottenham Hotspur in this game. Was that one of the best solo performances you've seen in an Arsenal shirt, if you like? It is like Eberechi Eze the best signing for Arsenal this summer? Are we overhyping that performance? Is it almost a cherry on top for Eberechi Eze getting this hat trick, considering he almost signed for Tottenham in the summer? How well do you see Arsenal performing for the rest of the season? Do you think they can go on and win the Premier League? Who else is the main threat for Arsenal? Can Chelsea sort of come out of nowhere and sort of, get a few more points on the board and potentially challenge Arsenal? Could Man City do it? Could Liverpool come back? And yeah, before that as always, please like, comment and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. Goes a long way helping me build a small community on my channel. We've recently just hit 261 subscribers. Can we go and get the big 300? I just want to say a massive thank you for you guys on showing your support on my most recent videos, all the likes and the comments on social media as well. It definitely has gone unnoticed, and yeah, I am, it's coming down to the crunch time of uni. My submissions now I've got like 2 weeks left for submissions, so if I don't really post that many videos over the next couple of weeks, I do apologise. But as soon as I, get all my my jobs out of the way, I'll be back posting, frequently, regularly, if you like, over the Christmas break, over the Christmas period, and yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you, and I do hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.